Welcome to New Day Cleveland. I'm David Moss, and it's Wednesday. We're going to cook up a storm here today, and it's going to be a little bit of extra fun, I think, indeed, because it's about the big green egg. I was out at Litehouse Pools and Spas, and I became intrigued with this little item, the big green egg, and I've been learning how to cook with it a little bit. And the more I get into it, the more I find out there's all kinds of little things you can buy, like attachments and little accessories and that sort of thing. And today we're going to use some of those accessories, and we're going to go to Chateau Moss, and we're going to make calzone. Okay, so we have to put this calzone together while the big green egg works its way up to 500 degrees. 500 degrees, 450 degrees, that'll be good. So I'm going to put a little olive oil in here because we're going to cook up some of the stuff that goes inside the calzone. And calzone is an invention from Naples, so it is very Italian. I got some mushrooms in here. I'm going to put some onions. As you can see, this is the calzone maker from Big Green Egg. So when it's done, it's shaped like that. That's a big one, and this is a smaller one. The calzone, when it was invented in Naples, was taking yesterday's food, leftovers, putting them in a piece of dough, like a piece of bread, and that's your lunch. You take it to work with you. So that's how that works. Okay, so this is cooking a little bit. We'll let that do that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to roll over to the dough. Now, I went to Litehouse, and they got this great ready-made dough. You get 3 pieces for $1, and we're going to use that. Now, I got the big green egg mat here, which is going to really help me. It's a silicone mat, but still pretty smart to put some flour on it. So we're going to put some flour on here. Put some, see how it wants to stick to the mat a little? You put some flour on your dough. When you buy this dough, you let it come out of the refrigerator for about an hour to let it rest. So that way when you roll it out, you can probably go like this, like you see the pizza guy do, throw it in the air and all that kind of stuff. But with this nice big green egg mat, I can roll it out in a circle to about the right size. We'll go back over here, check what's going on in the pot. We're going to put the garlic in now because we don't want to cook this till it's all mush. So we've got onions, garlic, mushrooms, and I've got some frozen spinach. And now we'll spend a couple minutes just getting our dough out to the right size. Okay, so spinach goes in, and it's sort of chunky. And what I use is I use 7 or 8 mushrooms. I use like a quarter of an onion, 1 clove of garlic, and this is about 6 to 8 ounces of spinach. I made it a couple times with too much spinach, and sometimes it just doesn't, just too much spinach and not enough great flavors. So we're going to get some great flavors with that and some nice texture with the spinach. So that's going there. And we're going to put just a little bit of hot pepper flakes in there, just to season it up a little bit. Okay, the dough looks pretty good. And if it's not quite as thin as you want it, I mean, we don't need it that's big, but I like it to be a little thinner. You can pick up the edges where it's really thick. And look what happens, it gets a little bit bigger. That's why you see the pizzeria guys throw it in the air, because boom, it gets thinner and rounder. But this is the shape we need now, because this is the big green egg calzone maker. So we'll put that right there. And we're gonna load this dough onto it. So I'll get the dough out here. And what's extra on the outside, we will just probably cut off. Okay, so there you go. So we're gonna start putting some stuff in here, right? So I got some Romano cheese. I like the Romano cheese, that's really a good thing. And when you go to put the other cheeses in it, get some nice Asiago cheese. I got this over at Litehouse also. And some fontanella. And you got something that's starting to taste pretty doggone good. Okay, now, how about some pepperonis? You guys like pepperonis? We'll put some pepperonis in here. And guess what? There's no tomato sauce in a calzone. There is, though, however, in a stromboli. And stromboli, that's an American invention, believe it or not. Okay, now it's time to put some of our filling in here. Let's put the filling on top. You can pick any fillings you want. I put all that pepperoni on the bottom because my filling is still sort of warm, and I didn't want it to go through my dough. Okay, so I got that in there, and now I'm going to take some beautiful ricotta cheese. I'm going to put that in there. It's going to make that spinach tastes delightful. And while we're doing that, how about some basil? And rather than cut it up with my big green egg knife, I'm just going to use some scissors. Got basil in there. More cheese. Oh yeah, when I said more cheese, I meant more cheese. And then we take water, and you put water right here, because water will make the dough act like glue. And if I'd have forgotten that, guess what? We would have had a leaky stromboli. Let me put that back together. Paint it up with a little olive oil. That'll make it nice and shiny and beautiful. Then we're going to put it on a piece of parchment paper, a little more olive oil. And don't forget to put a couple little vents in it, because if you don't, your calzone could blow up. Like that. That's a vent, that's a vent, and that's a vent. And it's off to the big green egg. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna open up the green egg. Looks right, 450, climbing towards 500. And I put it on this parchment paper on top of a pizza stone so that I'm positive it's not gonna stick. And that way, when I pull out the piece of paper, it's gonna be a little cooked already on the bottom, and it can cook on the pizza stone. So we'll pull that out in about 5 minutes. Okay, cooking time is about 20 minutes, but after the first 5 minutes is when I like you to take out that parchment paper. Check it out. It's hot in there, baby. But see how it slid right off, and now we know that's not gonna stick. It'll be perfect. Well, 20 minutes has elapsed, and here we go, and check it out. Does that look beautiful? Look, it had a baby. I did that because, you know, we're gonna head back to the studio and give this thing a taste test, and you know how Natalie eats, so I had to make sure there was enough for everyone. So, coming up after the break, ooh, that's hot too, nice and hot. After the break, in the studio, it's calzone time.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi.
How are
Hi.
you? I hurried from my house all the way from Beechwood to get this here in time.
I
so
know.
Still be
I don't
hot.
know how you did it.
I gotta tell you, you know, obviously it took more time than that. So this is what I lose sleep over. Like, what's it gonna be like when you finally get it to work and you open it? But this is it. Check it out. It cooked 20 minutes in the big green egg. I'm gonna take it off of there a little bit. I made an extra one, the baby
That looked
one.
fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And you know what? I used all this crazy stuff in the big green egg, and I even have a big green egg knife. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's yeah. You leave. I'll leave that to you.
Which one should we open first? The little one or the big one?
Well, what do you? Well, the big one. Because,
Okay, we're gonna move this over. Here we go. See what we
why
got in
not?
here. Oh, it's crispy.
Oh, look at
that. Sounds good, right?
Yeah, you gotta have it a little bit crispy. I think that. Oh my gosh, you were worried about that? Look how amazing that looks.
That looks pretty good. We'll open up the
Oh.
little one too, just for fun, right?
So this is fun. You can make this
I
different sizes.
Yeah, I called this stromboli one time during that piece, but this is calzone. The difference is calzone has the sauce on the outside, just like you dip it in, and stromboli you put the sauce on the inside. So that's the difference between these. So, and then you get a big one like this. It's almost like that. That would be for two. That'd be like almost eating half a pizza, which is about right.
Sure, they're
right?
very filling.
Yeah.
That is what they're very filling. So
But
a little bit
would
goes
you
a
like
long
to
way.
try this one?
I should try the little one for eating purposes, huh?
Okay, and then the other one, what I would do if a bunch of people were on, I would just cut it in some slices.
What do you want me to do? Do you want me to cut that, or you want me to
No,
just
I
take
think
it?
you go for that. I think you pick that up
Oh,
like a pocket
yay, so I
sandwich,
get to have the
and you
whole
go
thing.
after it. You go
Dip it in?
You go. I have napkins for you too.
Oh. So this was the contraption you used here?
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, so I was walking around Litehouse pools and spas checking out stuff, and I came into this and I said, like, so is this in case you want to catch a bear and cook it on the big green egg? And they said, no, that is
exactly
not.
like that.
It's not a bear trap. It's a calzone maker. So there you go, or stromboli if you want to put a little sauce in it.
Whoa.
And I said that one might be too big because, well, you know, I'm trying not to be the fat man all the time. They said, well, we have a little one here. So there it is.
They're really neat looking.
Looks like a mini.
That's cooked to perfection. You did a great job with
it
that.
good?
I love all of the different things you put in here. That was a good combo.
Oh yeah, go backwards. It's Asiago cheese in there, so and there's no mozzarella in it, and it's got fontanella in it, and it's got pecorino romano, so it's got all good quality cheeses in it. And I put some ricotta in there, and you got to watch when you put the ricotta in because it could be a little juicy, you know, so you don't put in too much, or you can mix an egg in with the ricotta, and that make it a little more custardy, you know, so it gives you a whole nother thing.
Good. You're putting up pizza shops and Italian restaurants to the test here with this.
Is that fun?
Delicious.
So yeah, and I went to a Lushies, and that's where I got the dough, so I didn't have to make the dough. That's a big thing, and I got all the stuff there. I love a Lushies over in Mayfield, but
and
check
you're not
this out.
shooting bowl. You're not shooting that. That's
yeah, yeah,
looks
right.
Like a
I thought,
bullseye.
yeah. So this is how I practiced if I'm going to shoot the bear with a bow and arrow. No, this is the big green egg thing. So I just brought that up because we were talking about the dough, and it shows you the recipe for the dough right on it, and how to do it, and how big to make it, and how thick. So all the information is right out here with the measurements. So that makes it easy. And you know, a lot of folks don't have a great counter for rolling dough. So you put this out, a little flour on it, silicone mat. You can roll the dough around, it doesn't stick, and it's perfect.
Good stuff. This tastes delicious.
It's good?
Do we have the
The recipe?
The recipe on the website?
The recipe is on the website, and I think you can make it
worth
to
it.
the recipe, and I think you'll be happy in the end.
Worth it. Thank you.
Thank you
This
very
is
much.
delicious. I'm going to keep eating. It's your turn to talk again.
Okay, it's the perfect finishing touch. That's what we're going to talk about. To your meal. We're talking about handcrafted, like ice cream, you'll like gelato. It's made right here in Northeast Ohio, so we're headed to a place called, what else would you call it?
The sweet spot.
The Sweet Spot.